Hello and welcome everybody to Small Talk with Shibby, my LCS and LEC post-game interview content. I'm here with the great SK Nisqy here, not having the result that they wanted to coming off of this match, but overall swinging pretty well. And I want to talk about, first off, just the expectations that a lot of other personalities and other teams had of SK and kind of how you guys have really been punching up and just defying expectations, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone kind of, I won't say disrespected us, but I feel like they didn't have high hopes. At least for me, I know that any roster I join, I'm aiming for Worlds, and this year is not so different, I would say. But yeah, I think our week was really good. First week, I think second week was a bit worse. I also think we played decent teams as well. But yeah, I think we'll do good, and I think this is only the beginning. It's only the first 2 weeks of a long, long year, so I'm confident we'll be even better in the future. As of now, we're not the best yet, but I believe that in the future we'll be way better. Yeah.
And we can talk about SK a little bit later as a whole, but Nisqy, I want to focus on you as a player and just, I don't know what it is, what you do, what kind of voodoo or magic that you do, but every single jungler that you end up playing with ultimately looks like one of the best I've ever seen, right? We can talk about when you were back on Team Envious with Lear. We can talk about Splice, Cloud9, Fnatic. I mean, the list goes on. The resume is there. Can you kind of talk to me a little bit more in depth on like how you as an individual make your jungler look very good? Like I've seen you sack waves. I've seen you roam for your jungler. I've seen you do a lot of stuff. Why is it that you are one of those more selfless mid laners at time where I've seen other players, they won't even move?
I'm not sure. Maybe it's just the way I play the game in general. I think I maybe have like a broader view on how to win the game rather than, oh, I'm mid laner, I will just farm my waves and then I will try to carry team fights. I see it way more complicated than that. I think most mids, except the best, I would say, have that view as well, where they know how they win the game, and then they make sure that that happens in game. And when there's an opportunity, then they're ready to suck themselves for the greater good of the team. And I think the close-minded mids would be probably not moving as much and mostly just playing for lane and for CS. Yeah, I'm not sure what else there is in my junglers, but yeah, all my junglers are pretty good.
Yeah, and so you've moved from team to team so far. You've got a pretty extensive resume: Cloud9, Fnatic, Mad Lions. What is the thing that maybe you arguably bring the most out of the different teams that you enter? Right, like what is something that you identify that these teams are missing and that I need to bring to the table? Do you have something in mind, or is every team different in that regard?
I mean, I would say every team is way different. To be fair, they would depends on what player you play with, what team you go for. Um, but I mean, I would say in each team, the most important thing for me that I brought, I feel like, was like just like not kindness, but like good mood. I guess in general, I think it's rare where in a team there was shit mood. I think I'm very social person in general, which is kind of rare to be fair from being a pro. I think
Yeah.
most pros are kind of not like that. So maybe that's why I'm I won't say outstanding, but that's why maybe my teams are just in good mood in general. But yeah, I mean, except that, to be fair, I'm not sure what else I do that's so different from others.
And can you talk about, playing with Isma as a jungler versus kind of the other junglers that you've ended up playing with, right? You've played with top names like Blabber. Obviously, you played with Elioya, these kind of guys. Like, what does Isma do differently? Or maybe what does he do very well that you've seen a trait in other junglers that you've played with?
I feel like Isma adapts very well in game, and even after the game, I feel like if I have something to say, then he will immediately look at it and try to fix it. And then I feel like he takes feedback pretty well. Like he knows he has still a long way to go, right? Even though we were winning a lot, he knows that he has to still keep improving because when you come in as a rookie, usually you're the person that have to like adapt the most. And I feel like he takes feedback to his heart, and I feel like he just makes it happen, right? If I tell him, oh, I think you should gank mid from top side this game, he'll be like, okay. And the next game, he will look from top side or bot side, and then he will figure out his plan himself. But I feel like, yeah, whenever I tell him something, he sticks to it, and he tries and he understands, and that's what I like the most about him, yeah.
I do want to talk a little bit more about you individually. I feel like every season that we see you play mid lane, heavily underrated. People aren't putting respect on your name. Like they don't really understand the value that you as a mid laner bring. At this point in your career, is it like something that you expect? Is it something that you kind of feed off of? Like you prefer being the underdog? Like have you ever cared about kind of being, I guess, well respected in like the top pantheon of mid laners? Or at this point, is it more of like a, I know they're going to underestimate me. I know I'm on a new team. Like I just have to prove them wrong year in and year out.
I mean, I usually don't really care what people think in general.
Fair enough.
I think I've learned that a long time ago that if you care about what people say, then you will not go very far as a pro. So
That's
for me, I
true.
just focus on myself and on my team, and I will just try to be the best of myself. And if I made a good enough job, then people will notice it. And then if I'm going to Worlds each year, then that kind of means I'm top 3 mid in EU, which is not a bad thing. So yeah, for me, I don't really care. I used to care a bit before, but now I actually don't care like at all. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. I do want to talk about kind of the meta that's developing in the season so far. I feel like as a competitive player yourself, you've been through so many different season starts, so many different metas and stuff like that. Is this season start, the new season, the most fun you've had, at least competitively, or maybe in solo queue versus maybe all the other times that you've competed, back then?
Yeah, I think so. Just because there were so many changes. Also, I feel
Yeah.
like the meta just changed. Like a lot. The map changed, right? The way you play mid game changed. New Rift
Mhm.
Herald and whatnot. So yeah, I think it changed a lot, and I like it a lot. I feel like there's new strategies. Level 1 is different. Team fights play out different because of the map, right? Items are different as well. So yeah, I think this is the most fun I've had since a while. Starting in LC. Yeah.
Well, Nisqy, I really appreciate the time that you take out to do this interview with me. I've got the 1 minute thing. So
Yeah.
do you have any more shout outs? Do you have anybody you'd like to shout out? Fans, players, anyone you want to highlight?
I mean, shout out to my fans, as always. I'm doing this for me, myself, but mostly for them as well, right? And I mean, even though we won 1-2 this week, I'm still kind of proud of the team, of how we played. Also because we had some, I won't say people that were ill, but like we're not feeling at 100%, so I don't mind losing. I mean, we made playoffs already as well, so for me, right now is just to adapt to kind of next week and see what we want to do, and then playoffs hit, and that's when we should peak. So yeah, this week sucked a bit, but it doesn't matter that much.
Thank you so much, Nisqy.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching the video. I'm hoping you guys enjoyed the content. If you did, leave a like, comment, do all that jazz. I genuinely try to respond to every single comment I see because it's always interesting to see the other opinions of people that care about League of Legends esports as much as I do. Obviously, the best way to support me is to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications on my latest uploads. If you want to see more of me and my content, I stream on Twitch 5 days a week. The link will be in the description box below. If you are into short form content, I'm also on TikTok. We talk about LPL, LCK, LEC, all the stuff over there. We talk about roster moves. So if your jam is short form content, head over to TikTok, hit the follow button there. I'm also on Twitter. So all of that stuff will be in the description box below. But other than that, thanks for watching the video and I hope to see you soon.